It's hard to choose just one of my favorite memories of Grandpa, so I'm going to share two. The first is from this past year. I wrote a thesis in sociology as part of graduating from college, and I was able to share that with him. And his first reaction was, once I grab my dictionary, I'll give you some feedback, share my thoughts. Coming from him, a sociology nerd, that really meant a lot because we got to really connect on just ways of thinking about the world, and it was really cool to be able to share that on a bit of a deeper level of understanding, and being able to kind of understand his perspective even better because of that. My other favorite memory is from a couple years ago at Christmas. He sat me down and shared with me that he was taking painting classes because he had never tried doing art before. He'd never painted a day in his life, but he saw how much joy it brought me and many of my other cousins, and he decided that I think he was at least 75 at the time, why not pick up a paintbrush for the first time and just see what it's like, see what he can do. And I just really admire his willpower and his love of learning even throughout his whole life. Yeah.
My favorite memory of Grandpa is probably one of the picnics that we went on with the whole family, and we got to sit together and eat together and laugh together. And Grandpa looked like he was having so much fun, and it really he really made sure that everyone had fun whenever we got together.
My favorite memory of Grandpa is less a specific instance and more a overall feeling thing and quality that I would love to emulate in my life, which was his ability to always bring people together through laughter. Whenever we had a big family dinner or we were just hanging out with just them, there was always a moment where Grandpa would crack a joke and everyone would just crack up and have such a good time. Even throughout his whole life, that's always something that I can remember about Grandpa Woods.
My favorite memory of Grandpa is probably when we were sitting in the hospital and he got peas and carrots in his food and he didn't like them, so he decided to start flinging them around the hospital room with his spoon.
My favorite memory of Grandpa Woods is that impish smile he would get when he wanted to share something with you. Like, you'd be talking to him or you'd be in the kitchen and everything would be happening and he'd call you over like, hey, come here. And he'd share with you a joke or a story or a little bit of knowledge about something that you were interested in. And for me, it made learning and knowledge so accessible, and that's something that I'm trying to bring into the rest of my life, is that compassion to make knowledge and learning available even to 10-year-old kids who have no idea what sociology or trains or any of those super amazing things he taught us about were.
My favorite memory of Grandpa is definitely when we all got together this past holiday and we had these little silly elf ears and hats and things, and we brought them over to Grandma and Grandpa's house before we went to the church service. And Grandpa put on his little hat and ears and he sat through the whole service with them on. And when it was done, we took pictures and he just had his little goofy smile, like his boyish energy was just showing the whole time. And I think that's something I'll always remember about him, and something that's so beautiful that he definitely passed down onto all of his children. And that's something I'll always remember.
My favorite memory of Grandpa is probably the time we went to visit them in their new house in Maryland. Not because it was the most exciting trip we've ever done with them, but because I got to spend a lot of time with him and I got to hear a lot of stories, which I really enjoyed hearing.
My favorite memory with Grandpa is when we were vacationing in Maine and Malachi was about a year old and Grandpa was able to baptize him. I think that a lot of us have phenomenal memories and phenomenal life lessons from Grandpa, and I have them stemming from being 1 year old, but definitely my favorite memory with him is him being able to pass along his love and his blessing to the next generation. And I just hope that Malachi's memories of him are able to be shared with his cousins that may to come.
My favorite memory with Grandpa is 2019 Christmas, where we went to Arizona and he gave us all each an ornament.